Okay, this person says, since COVID broke, I've changed. It feels like good change. I'm more awake, more aware than I was before. Thing is, I'm having trouble letting go of how things used to be, even though I know they weren't great. So I suppose my question is, how do I let go of the past? I think the idea of holding on to the past is just that. It's an idea, you know, like Eckhart Tolle's whole teaching is based around, or started off with, this idea of the power of now. Um, Something you got from Barry Long, by the way. Sorry to all the Eckhart Tolle people. I don't mean to be just being smart. But yeah, like the idea of the now is such a, I can't really get close to it personally. I can get up to about a second, maybe 2 seconds. But to really come into how fast now moves, it's really hard. And like the idea of the past, like even just the start of this, you know, the meditation we did at the beginning, like that's an idea. It's totally an idea. You know, it's gone. It doesn't exist anymore, you know. And even though it just happened, you know, it's like, yeah, but where is it now? You know, it's nowhere. The idea of it, of a continuity, you know, that's why I can go on about all that stuff in the meditation about time not being linear, because the idea of time being linear is totally an idea. It's totally just we string all these nows together and call it time, but it doesn't really exist, you know. That's what I mean about approaching the now. It's very difficult. I find it very difficult anyway, to really get into it, you know, because you kind of go, well, there's the future and the past, or whichever side you want to put it on. And then, you know, this moment we travel through between, you know, and this filter that we go through, and what was the future now becomes the past, you know. Both are like completely, you know, an idea, like the idea of the future, an idea of the past. And it's a very believable idea, for sure. And it's one of the cornerstones of how we kind of keep our reality together and keep our sanity in reality. But when you are kind of thinking like, oh, I'm missing the past, I'm missing the way things were, it's good to kind of go, well, it's not real. You know, you basically sad or having an emotional response to something that doesn't really exist, you know. And you go, well, that's really helpful, John. Well, it is, because you can go, well, if you really get into it, like if you really kind of deconstruct it and just like look at what actually, you know, is your direct experience, everything to do with the past is like just an idea, you know. And you could say, well, it's in the cells of my body, you know, like I had a trauma and it's stuck in my body and this thing and whatever, you know, and that is true. But it, in another way, what that is it's the trauma is inside you as well. And the memory is inside you. And whether you were traumatized emotionally or physically or whatever, it all exists inside, you know, and where it releases is inside. And it's the same like with time, you know, like when you release trauma, you don't release it in the past, you release it like now. It's always now. Everything happens now. That's what I mean about how hard it is to approach now, to really approach now, to really come into the moment, you know. Because it's easy to say, oh, just live in the moment, you know. It's really hard to live in the moment because it moves so fast, you know. Like it moves as fast as I am talking, it's moving, you know. What I said a second ago doesn't exist now, you know. So to kind of approach that, to really approach coming into the moment, it's really hard. But you can use that. You can use that. It's like one of those paradoxical things of like to think about it and to consider it and to go, yeah, the now, the moment, living in the moment, like really not living in the moment, because you already are living in the moment. It's actually about whether you can be conscious of that. And that's one of the things about speed of consciousness is the faster your consciousness gets. I don't mean speedy. I mean Like how fast you can get ahead of yourself, like say in an argument, and go, yeah, what I said was true, that was true, but now I am just reacting. Now I'm not loving anymore. Now I'm defending myself, you know. It takes a lot of speed to get ahead of that, right? That's what I mean by speed of consciousness. So to have the speed of consciousness to begin to approach the moment requires a lot, okay? Because it, as I say, the moment, the now, even talking about it, I'm kind of coming in and out of it. Sometimes I feel like I'm getting close to it, and then other times it's like, what was I saying? It sort of drifts, you know. But to get close to the moment, the now, even to approach it, even though you know it's not, it's hard to do, helps when you think of, when you have feelings about, oh, the past was so great and wasn't it good, and I miss this, you know, I miss the way things were, or the way I used to be, or say you're, you know, you're divorced and you're like, oh, I miss my partner, or maybe one of your children isn't around anymore, and, or, you know, all this kind of stuff. Or you think about, you know, regret is another good one, you know, oh, I could have done this thing, or I could have done that thing. That's all going on in here. Like the reality is, as soon as as soon as the moment has moved on, it's just gone. It's just gone, you know. So when you sort of start to feel feelings about it, you can go, well, it's all going on in here. And when it's all going on in here, I have a bit of sovereignty in here. I have something I can do about it in here, because it's, you know, it's not some tangible thing out there or intangible thing out there that I've got to deal with. It's all going on inside me, and I can, you know, address things, you know. So for example, for myself, all my childhood traumas, they all exist inside me. I can have conversations with them. You know, I've done incredible healing with those parts of myself, because I know they all just exist in here. So I can, you know, coax them out of the dark and sit them on my knee and tell me all about it and feel the feelings, you know, that they're telling me all these, you know, sad, terrible things, that injustice that was done, and, you know, and I can lovingly, like truly lovingly, like put my arms around that part of me and go, yeah, that was shit. That was terrible that happened to you. Oh, that's so terrible, you know. And it's a, you know, it's like, well, are you insane? You know, it's like, no, it all goes on inside me anyway. So I can do something about it, because I know everything is now. Now I've got the chance to do everything. Everything that I could possibly do is going to happen in this moment. So I would encourage you to let go of the idea of letting go of the past, because it's just an idea, you know, because really you've got no choice about letting go of the past, because you can't hang on to it. It just gone, like that finger snap. It's just gone, right? And the rest is is a kind of combination of mental and emotional and energetic stuff on the inside. And then, you know, that's something you can work with and do it. But it all is, it's only ever going to happen now.